Have you recently picked up Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 for Xbox and you're looking for a career mode? Well, this could be an option for you. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today I'll be showing you through the Virtual Pilots Association. As I said on my intro, this could be a good career mode option for those of you that are playing Microsoft Flight Simulator through your Xbox. And the reason for that is, unlike some of the other add-ons that are available out there at the moment, like NeoFly, FS Economy, etc., this particular site does not require you to have a SimConnect connection, which the others do. Therefore, it doesn't matter whether you're on PC, on Xbox, or whatever it might be, you're able to use this career option. So I'll talk you through it. Essentially, it's a website. And what I would say is a bit of a disclaimer up front. It's not really an ultra casual type experience. You do need to have a little bit of aviation knowledge. Now, they've got some good tutorials and stuff like that, but it's not the sort of thing you just fire up and away you go. There's a little bit of pre-work you've got to do before each flight, but I'll talk you through the main areas of how the Virtual Pilots Association works. And then at the end, I'll just kind of show you quickly how you actually conduct a flight. I won't actually conduct one. I'll just show you how it gets set up and everything like that. And you can see whether this might be right for you. So here we are on the home page, and it's essentially a website, by the way. And so all you need is access to a web browser when you are conducting flights, and away you go. So this is the home page. Let's just tick along into the system. The way it basically works is it's a virtual airline in essence, but it allows you to fly basically any flight, basically mirror any sort of real world flight that's been flown out there in the world for any airline that you like. And what you do is, as you conduct those flights, you earn hours, and you also earn a thing called wings, which is kind of like XP. And as you get more experience and hours and wings, you then get promoted up through the ranks. And there's the odd little exam you got to do on the way through, so you just be aware of that. But it also has a reward system and a few tours and other sorts of things you can get involved with. So I've just got a whole lot of tabs open up the top here. Just going to run through the main bits just to give you a feel for the system. So we jump to the next one. This is how the ranking system works. You start off as a student pilot. Then you work your way up to private pilot, junior officer. Then you go into the officer's ranks, senior officer's ranks, etc. As you can see, for different levels, you need different requirements. So for a junior officer, you need 5,000 wings, 50 flights, 50 hours of flight time, and need to be at the organisation for at least 1 month. Some of these ranks down the bottom here are very special ranks that only a certain number of people can hold, and you've got exams you've got to sit and stuff like that. This one here, you've got to be elected by members, right down to Director Fleet Captain. So as you can see, some pretty huge requirements there. You're going to have to be very active in the community. But to get through those initial ranks, it's just pretty much a case of flying a bunch of flights and completing exams where required. Now, as you see, there's not exams for every single rank right here, just a few of them. But you can work your way up through the ranks, as you can see. Move to the next tab here. There are a bunch of different little ribbons or awards that you can earn as you go through your career. So for example, this VPA Europe Silver, 250 different airports on the European continent with at least an average of 1 hour flight time. So you do 250 flights and you'll get awarded 12,500 wings, and you get this nice little ribbon on your profile. Now that's a gold version. You've got sort of gold and silver versions of these types of continental awards. You've got different aircraft types or sizes. You've got things like, what's this one here? Given to anyone that gives a lot of support to others. So if you're a really highly supportive team member that gets on the forums and helps a lot of people out, you can earn that award. So as you can see, a bunch of different awards. The other ones here are for IVAO and VATSIM, which of course on the Xbox, not available at the moment at the recording of this video, which is in August 2021, but maybe eventually they'll get access to that. That's the online flying network. But apart from that, you do have a bunch of other awards that you can fly, and it gives you something to aim towards. Move on to the next one here. I just sort of give you a little bit of a idea on what it looks like as you're working up the ranks. This is me at the moment, and it tells you how you sit, or basically what you need to be promoted to the next rank. So I'm on the last of sort of the starting ranks there. I've got 32,000 wings and I need 10,000, so I've done more than enough wings. I've got 98 flights that I've completed. You need to complete 100 for this rank. So I've got a couple more there to do. I need 100 hours. I've got 226 hours, so that's fulfilled. And days as a member, as you can see, I've been a member for a long time. I just haven't flown that frequently. So all I need to do is do another couple of flights and I'll be promoted to the next rank. So as you can see here, it gives you a good sort of overview of what you need to achieve to get to that next rank. Moving right along. Airport experience. Here goes another thing that you can earn. Basically, depending on the airports you fly in and out of, you'll get a certain rating. So the more you fly in and out of a certain airport, the more of a rating you'll get. And so you can kind of see right here, being in New Zealand, I've flown a lot out of Auckland, New Zealand, 79 points in fact. How many flights? 57 flights. So I'm 3-star right there. So another thing to sort of aim towards there. And these will help contribute towards some of those other ribbons that I was talking about earlier. Moving on here goes an example of the aircraft experience, which obviously contributes towards ribbons too. This just shows you the different types of aircraft that you've been flying and whether you're current. So you've got to stay current, you have got to do at least 12 hours and 12 landings in the last year. See, as you can see in the big tin here, I'm not very active whatsoever. And so you can just track your progress basically on the different aircraft. I'm moving right along here. And this is the cool thing I really love about this add-on, is that you fly real world routes. And so as you can see, I've done 51 flights for Air New Zealand. You've got Hawaiian Airlines, Qantas, Jetstar, American Airlines, and you've got pretty much every airline in the world there that you can fly for. You just go ahead and copy any route that's available out there basically, or route if you're in America, that's how you say it. Obviously, you've got to get that right. And it just shows you, hey look, for this airline, how many flights have I done, the total time that I've flown, and the wings, and once again you get ratings and all that sort of stuff, so you can kind of fly for your favorite airlines, which gives you a lot of choice and flexibility, which is kind of cool. Moving right along to the next tab here, top aircraft. So as you can see, it's pretty much got every aircraft ever invented that's flying around at the moment, and you can kind of this is just an overview of the different stats. So as you can see, the Boeing 737-800 is the most popular aircraft flying, 40,000 flights. Followed by the A320, the 737-700, A319. So you got stats galore. If you're into stats, heaps of stats here to be able to check up and see what's happening within the organisation. What I thought I'd show you here is how you go ahead and get your flights, or choose which flights you want to fly. Now, there's a few different ways you can do it, and you can actually fly unscheduled flights too. But if you fly an actual real-world schedule, then you're going to get more wings for doing that. So what I would do is I'd just come in here and I've just searched by Auckland NZAA to Wellington NZWN, and I could say, hey, I want to fly ANZ 449. So it's just a case of finding out all the details here. You can go into whatever flight planning program that you use when you go into the sim and sort out your route and stuff like that. It's up to you what you want to fly. You do have to follow proper procedures in terms of altitude, so flying at the right altitude depending on the direction of flight and stuff like that. But this will give you a bit of a feel for the length of the flight and stuff like that. And so I'd choose this, and what I'd do is I'd copy this and put it into my little flight log, and when the person comes and checks your flight, because they'll check your pilot report, or PIREP for short, they'll use this as a reference just to compare it to you, to make sure that you're departing from the right place at the right time and stuff like that. So you basically, I'd follow this exact schedule. I mean, obviously the flight's not going to be exactly the same length because of different weather conditions and stuff. But the key is that I'm looking to depart at 18:10 New Zealand Standard Time, and then obviously land around about the time that it's scheduled for. You do have a tolerance either side of the landing time, so you don't have to land right on exactly on the right amount, right time I should say. So here's a little bit of an idea on how this thing actually works, setting up a flight. So you go in and you throw your aircraft in there. So for example, A320. I'm not going to do an in-depth tutorial here. I'm just going to quickly show you the sorts of things that you do need to know. And they do have a full training center with a whole lot of help videos and stuff like that. That's not going to kick in at the moment. It's not playing the game. But anyway, you throw in the type of your aircraft. You've got to choose the type of flight rules you'll be flying with, whether it's a scheduled flight and a few other things. The type of aircraft that you're flying, the type of equipment on the aircraft, and you use the manual. You refer to that, and it's nice and easy to select the type of equipment, where you're departing from, how fast you intend to go, your flight level. You put your route in here, which you can copy across from whatever flight planning you're doing. your destination aerodrome, your alternative aerodrome, and then you go ahead and you throw in your any other information like the schedule and stuff like that. And so what you do is then you press send, and this is an offline flight that I'm doing at the moment. You can do offline or you can do it online with VATSIM or whatever, but because you're on Xbox you can't do that second part. But what you do is you send that off and it starts the clock counting. And then what you need to do is just come back into the site. So you leave it open and then you just press, if I set this up, this will be a little update button, and you press update, and it's kind of like letting the system know that this flight is still going on. And so it's a little bit of an honor system because it's not directly connected to your flight simulator, but you come in here and you at least every 60 minutes you've got to come in here and press update, and it means that you're still there, still tracking your flight, which is obviously important for those big long flights, so you can't just go off and go overnight and have a sleep while your flight's going on. At least every hour you've got to come in here and update it. I think it gives you a warning at about 45 minutes, something like that. So that's how it works, and that's why it's going to work for Xbox users, because you don't need to have or be connected to your flight. Your flight sim doesn't need to be connected to an external add-on, is what I'm trying to say. And the final thing I'll just show you here is the training center, and it's got everything here, the rules. It's got the Pirate manual, and that's the key thing because it shows you how to enter in your flights correctly and things like that. It's got a whole lot of videos, pre-flight basics. It's got a whole lot of how to decode a METAR. So if you're, you can actually learn a lot by flying in this organization too, because you do have to follow a lot of real-world procedures to a certain degree. You don't need to be an ATP pilot or anything like that. But anyway, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Virtual Pilots Association, like I say, it's one of the few options from a career mode point of view that's available for Xbox users, because all you need is access to a browser. But it's also great for those that fly on the PC too. I find it quite enjoyable. And I really love the flexibility of being able to fly for any airline in the world. And once again, I quite like stats, so having access to all those stats is absolutely, enjoy that too. So anyway, if you did enjoy the video, please go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe if you are new, and until next time everybody, take it easy.